Okay, so in the last lecture we have discussed that if the deviation, sum of the deviation is not equal to 0, then how to solve that problem by using the regression analysis or the least square method. Okay, so in that we in regression in least square method we are determining the parameters, or we can say that the variable uh, the constants a and b values, and if the deviation is sum of the deviation is not equal to 0, in that case it is somewhat difficult to determine the unknown constants, that is nothing but a and b in line equation. So in that case we have to use these two formulas to determine a and b values. Okay, so first formula is for a is equal to summation of y multiply by summation of x square minus, in another bracket, summation of x multiply by summation of x multiply by y whole divided by n multiply by summation of x square minus, inside the bracket, summation of x bracket square. Okay, and b can be determined by using the formula n multiply by summation of x multiply by y minus, in another bracket, summation of x multiply by summation of y whole divided by n multiply by summation of x square minus, inside the bracket, summation of x bracket square. So these two formulas you have to mug up, or you have to remember these two formulas whenever there is problem related to deviation not equal to 0. Whenever there is a problem like deviation is not equal to 0, and these two formulas are determined by using the normal equation of the line that we have already discussed, that summation of y is equal to n multiply by a plus b multiply by summation of x, and the second normal equation is summation of x multiply by y is equal to a multiply by summation of x plus b multiply by summation of x square. So these two formulas can be determined or formulated by using these two equations. Okay, and we will not see the derivation because it is not for our syllabus. And to understand this concept, we have started a discussion on one problem that a company manufacturing washing machine establishes the fact that there is a relationship between sale of washing machine and population of the city. The market research carried out reveals the following information: fit a linear regression equation and estimate the demand for washing machine for a city with a population of 45 million. Okay, so I hope you have written the question and the data whatever provided in this problem. So data is provided which by marketing survey, they come to know, or company comes to know, that there is a relation between population and number of washing machines demanded by that particular city. Okay, so data is provided in a population and the respective demand for that town. Okay, if the town population is 5 million, in that case the demand is 28,000 washing machines. If the population is 7 million, in that case the demand of washing machine is 40,000. If the population is 15 million, the demand is 65,000. If the population is 22 million, then the number of washing machine demanded is 80,000. If the population is 27 million, then demanded washing machines are 96,000. And if the population is 36 million, then number of washing machines demanded equal to 130,000. Okay, so this data is provided. Now we have discussed that in previous problems, that there is a stipulated difference between two periods, and there is, in that case, we can easily provide the deviations, and we can make the deviation sum equal to 0. But there is no correlation between two datas provided for us. Okay, that is 5, 7, 15, 22, 27, 36. Okay, so in that case, we are unable to make summation of deviation equal to 0. So we have to solve the problems by considering the problem type like deviation. We cannot make the deviation of sum of deviation equal to 0. Okay, so in this case, population will be considered as deviation. Okay, population, once again, in this case, in which case, in the problems like in which we are not able to make the summation of x is equal to 0 or summation of deviation equal to 0. In such a case, the population or the related data for the demand will be considered as a deviation, and we have known that the deviations are represented by symbol x. Okay, so we are giving the symbol x for this deviation, and number of washing machine, that is nothing but a cell, or demand of a cell, will be considered as y. Okay, demand is always considered as a y. Y is a dependable parameter, and x is a independable parameter. So dependable parameter, that is demand, is always depend upon some of the parameter like time period or population or whatever the data is provided to you. Okay, so we are once again formulating the table in which we are considering the columns as serial number, population as a deviation inside bracket x, demand for a washing machine we are considering as y. Then we required another one column which shows the square of deviation, that is x square, and we required another one column which shows the product of demand and deviation, that is nothing but x multiplied by y. We required these columns as we required the summation of x square and summation of x multiplied by y in our formulas. Okay, for that purpose we are extending this two columns. Okay, so whatever the data provided to us in the problem, that we have written as per the requirement of this table. Deviations, that is nothing but the population, we have written in this particular column 5, 7, 15, 22, 27, 36, and the related demand of that particular population we have written in the y column, that is 28, 40, 65, 80, 96 and 130. Okay, so from the serial number column we come to know that the total number of data provided is equal to 6. So we have written at the bottom n is equal to 6. The population deviation column, we will come to know the summation of x. Okay, do calculation for the summation of x. Then from the number of machine demanded, from that column we'll come to know the summation of y. Calculate summation of y by adding all the demands and write it down at the bottom side row. Okay, then next column inside in next column is x square, that is the square of deviation. So 5 square is 25. Okay, 5 square deviation is 5, square is 25. Then 7 square is 49, right? Then 15 square is 225. Okay, then 22 square is 484. Then 27 square is 729, and 36 square is 1296, right? 1296. And at the bottom, you have to make the summation of all these squares. That is nothing but summation of x square. Okay. Then in the next column, you have to multiply the deviation for the respective data and the demand of that particular data. Okay. So 5 multiplied by 28. Deviation is 5. Demand is 28. 5 multiplied by 28. So it is equal to 140. 7 multiplied by 40. It is equal to 280. Okay. Then 15 multiplied by 65. It is equal to 975. Right. Then 22 multiplied by 80. It is equal to 1760. Then 27 multiplied by 96 equal to 2592. Right. Then 36 multiplied by 130. So it is equal to 4680. And at the bottom, you have to write the summation of all these multiplications. That is nothing but summation of x multiplied by y. Summation of x multiplied by y. Do calculation. Tell me the summation of x. Summation of x. Everyone write down the things and perform the calculations also. Okay. Let me know whether my voice is audible properly. Whether my voice is audible. Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. Okay. Tell me this summation of x value. All 4 values you can put up in the chat box. Summation of x, summation of y, summation of x square, summation of x multiplied by y. In a serial format. No issue. I'm giving time to you to perform the calculations. Okay. Roll number 1, Samruddhi. Are you there? Can you tell me the summations values? Okay, tell me. Summation of x. $112. Okay. Summation of y. $439. Summation of x square. $2808. Summation of x multiplied by y. लिखते चलो 10427. 10427. Okay, these are the values. Now once we get, why we are determining this value, because we have to find out the a and b unknowns. Okay, a and b unknowns. So here a equation is a is equal to, or I will copy directly. top side. So I will take this A and B equations. Okay, so A is summation of y multiplied by summation of x square minus summation of x multiplied by summation of x multiplied by y. Now you can put up the values we have determined for these parameters. Okay, so A is equal to inside bracket summation of y, how much? 439. Okay, multiply by summation of x square is 2808. Okay, bracket complete, minus summation of x 112 multiply by summation of xy is 10427. Okay, bracket complete. Then in the denominator side, n is 6 multiply by summation of x square is 2808, bracket complete, minus summation of x is 112, bracket complete, and its bracket square, right? And you should determine now this A. Do calculation and kindly let me know the A value. Okay, so who will tell the A value? Prerna will tell the A value, Prerna Ekatpure, and Snehal will tell the B value. Okay, so calculate A, okay, A value, and tell me the answer. Then B can be calculated. B is equal to so n is equal to 6 multiply by summation of x multiplied by y is 10427, bracket complete, minus summation of x is I think 112 multiply by summation of y is 439, bracket complete, and the denominator is same as like A. So I will take this denominator for the A. For B, okay, n is 6, summation of x square is 2808, minus summation of x is 112, bracket square. Now do calculation and tell me the answer. A value should be, Prerna will tell the A value and Snehal will tell the B value. Prerna, are you there in the meeting? Snehal? Yes. Okay. So Prerna, A is 15.076. A is 15.076. Kindly cross check others also, okay, so that our problem should not be wrong. And B value, Snehal Mane, are you there doing the calculation? I think Snehal is not there. Snehal, why you want to become an engineer then, Snehal? If you are not with the calculator, as the basic tool of a mechanical engineer, then why you want to become an engineer? The big question for you. Okay, and you can perform the calculation in mobile also, no issue. Addition calculation for that you does not require scientific calculation also. You can perform the calculation in mobile also. There is no rocket science for that multiplication and division. Okay, simple things. Don't give excuses. Okay, anybody? Karuna Sarvode, are you there in the meeting? Respond, Karuna. I will ask in between the questions. If not, I will remark you as absent for this lecture. Okay. Karuna Sarvade, are you there? Okay, I will mark absent for Karuna. Okay. Who will tell me the answer? You can put up your answer in the chat box for B. Tell me the answer for B. No one? No one doing the calculation? And should I mark all absent for this lecture? Everybody put up your answers in the chat box. Those who will not put up the answer, I will mark absent. Personally, you can put up to me. Personal. Okay, lot of answers I'm getting now. I will check one by one. So 3.11 is your answer. Okay, most of the time I'm getting 3.11 from your side. So this A and B, once we have calculated, the next part is we have to formulate our line equation. Y is equal to A plus B multiplied by X. Okay, and we have calculated the A value. Y is equal to 15.76, I think. 15.076 plus B is 3.11. B is 3.11 and multiply with X. Multiply with X. Now, this is our line equation. Now, we have to determine the demand of a washing machine for the population of 45 million. Okay, so that is nothing but what we are considering this population as the deviation. Okay, so last deviation was 36 and we have to determine the demand for the deviation of 45. Okay, so for population 45 million, deviation equal to 45. Okay, deviation equal to 45. So our equation, what will be our equation? So instead of X is nothing but 45. So instead of X, we are going to put up 45. Okay, now do calculation and tell me Y or the demand for 45 million population. Okay, so figures are in 1000. So whatever the value you are getting, you should be multiplied with 1000 and then you have to put up your answer in the chat box. Okay, everyone do calculation and tell me the Y. Y is equal to 1,55,026. Okay, 155,026. Right? This is the answer. Everybody getting this same answer? Okay, 155.026. So that will be the answer for this. Okay, equal to 155.06. But the demand is in 1000. Okay, as in the problem statement only, they have given the 3 zeros over here. Okay, 3 zeros over here in bracket 000. That is nothing but 28 multiplied by 1000. So that is 28,000, 40,000, 65,000. So our answer should be in 1000 only. So we should have a focus on that part also, that the value is provided in 1000, in 100, or values only having the same valuation. So that thing we have to notice while reading the problem, and then only we will get the correct answer. So the Y will become 1,55,026 number of washing machines. Okay, so in this fashion you have to solve the problem for which we cannot determine, or for which we cannot make the deviation equal to 0. We cannot make the deviation equal to 0. Okay, is there any doubt, any question? I hope you have written all the data related to this problem, and you completely understood this problem. Okay, so least square method or a regression analysis. Okay, is there any doubt, any question? Okay, if not, can I move to the next point? So next point is time series analysis. Okay. Shift. Okay. Now, so write down the heading, time series analysis. What is meant by time series analysis? That we are going to understand in this lecture. Time series analysis. नावावरून काय लक्षात येतं तुमच्या, की बाबा टाइमची सिरीज आहे. ओके, आणि त्याचं अनालिसिस करतोय आपण. सो दॅट इज नथिंग बट time series analysis. Okay, now as we have seen some of the problems which are in a least square method also. We have seen that the data is provided for the different years and asked to determine the demand for the future. Okay, demand for the future. So that is nothing but what they are provided the data for the years. Okay, and there is a relationship between the time passing and the demand. Okay, there is a relationship between time passing and the demand. Okay, so let us say if my sales production for this year is 20,000 product, next year 20,500 products, next year next third year it will become 20,000 600, 20,800. In this manner, year by year my production is or my sale is going to increase. So in that case we come to know that there is some relation between the time and the demand of the product in the market. So for the particular year the demand is increased by 1%, 2%, or my growth of a cell is 5%, 6%, 10% year on year. Okay, year on year. And that data, which is time dependent, will be useful for the forecasting, Now in a time series analysis, you have a fixed amount of data or a past data in the sense of a chronological order, or we can say that in a serial manner. Okay, and here the variable is only time. Okay, here we are not going to consider the different parameter which are affecting on a demand or which are affecting on a cell quantity. Okay, let us say there is something happen in a market and that effect is happening on your cell demand. Okay, then that part we are not going to consider in a time series analysis. Okay, that part we are not going to consider in a time series analysis. Here all the effects are involved in a one part or a one variable, that is nothing but a time. Okay, whatever effects are happening on a cell demand, that all the effects are compensated or included in only one part or in only one variable or one factor, that is nothing but a time. Okay, that is nothing but a time. And how the demand is fluctuating according to the time, that is determined in a time series analysis. So why this time series analysis is carried out? Okay, over the large time period frame, if you want to come to know, if you want to understand whether my cell or the company cell or the company product demand is increasing or decreasing over the large time period frame, let us say 10-year time frame, let us say 15-year time frame, let us say 20-year time frame. So over the large time frame, whether the sell or demand of a product is going to is increasing or decreasing, that will come to know you by using the time series analysis. So this larger time frame analysis or larger time frame demand of a product in the market will be denoted as a trend. Okay, will be denoted as a trend. If the product demand is increasing over the larger time frame, over the large time period frame, then we can say that the trend of a product is positive in the market. Okay, the trend of the product is positive in the market. And if the product demand is decreasing over the large time period frame, then we can say that the trend of a product is negative in the market. Trend of the product is negative in the market. And once the trend is determined, then it will be easy to determine or to make the forecasting of demand for the future. Okay, it will be easy to make the forecasting of a demand for the future. Okay, so this time series refers to the past data arranged in a chronological order as a dependable variable and time as a independable variable. Okay, here time is a independable variable and the demand of a product is a dependable variable. So time changes, demand changes. Oh, okay. This year 100 component demand, next year 120 component demand. So this is the positive trend of that particular product, and it is increasing with a 10% every year. Okay, I'm giving the example. Let us say this year my production and sell demand is increasing 10%, and next year what will be the demand of that particular product? So that will be considered as a positive trend or a increment in a sell demand, so that that will be considered as a positive trend. Okay, and here the demand is depend upon a time only. Okay, here the demand is depend upon a time only. The time series method does not study the factor that influences demand. Okay, as I have given example that something happen in a market, and because of that some positive or negative effects happening on your sell demand of your product. Okay, and let us say in the lockdown period, okay, what is happening? All the companies manufacturing was closed, and the demand for the two-wheelers and four-wheelers is suddenly collapsed, and these effects, okay, these effects are not considered in the analysis. Okay, only what is happening this year 2020, the demand of a product is this much, or demand of a product will be this much. Okay, 2021 this much, 2022 this much. So that is the trend determination, and neglecting all the parameters that are going to affect or going to influence the sell demand or a product demand in the market. So in this factor, in this method, all the factors that affect the demand are grouped in one factor, that is time, and demand is expressed as a series of with respect to time. The time series analysis consists determining the trend underlining the demand and extrapolate the future trend. Okay, first of all, in time series, what we are understanding, what we are going to understand, the trend of a product, whether it is the product is having positive trend for the over the large time frame period, and then after that we are going to determine what will be the next projection of that particular product for next 10 years, next 5 years, next 1 year. That will be easily determined by using the trend of a product in the market. And how to calculate? Simple mathematical techniques are used to determine the trend, or statistical methods are used to determine the trend. Okay, so this is the quantitative method to analyze or to perform the forecasting of the product. Okay, to perform the forecasting of the product. Okay, so this time series analysis is segregated in a 4 different part. First part is a trend. Okay, second is a cyclic fluctuation, third one is a seasonal variation, and fourth one is a irregular variation. Okay, according to the time frame, these are going to considered. Okay, these are going to consider over the large time period. We are going to consider a trend. Okay, somewhat lesser time frame, we are consider the cyclic fluctuation. Then after that, in within a 1 year, we are going to consider the seasonal variation, and the irregular variation, which are out of control. Such a variables effects are considered to be a irregular variation. Okay, now let us say first point. Okay, first is a trend. Okay, trend. As we have discussed that over the larger time period frame, the product demand is going to increase or decrease. That will come to know by using the trend. Okay, whether the trend is positive or negative. Okay, so I hope you are this particular figure is visible to you. If not, I will draw here once again. Okay, so consider this is the time period and this is the y-axis. Okay, pen wrong. No. Okay, so consider this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So y-axis represent the time frame. Okay, like a 10-year time frame or a 15-year time frame, and over that time period x-axis represent, okay, I'm right drawing on a wrong PPT, but you can understand. Okay, 10-year time frame, your cell production and cell demand is going to increase in this case. So we can say that the trend is positive. Okay, we can say that the trend is positive. And if it is happening like this way, okay, like this way, so in that case we can say that the trend is negative over the time frame. Over the large time frame, your cell demand is going to decrease. Okay, over this large time frame your cell demand is going to decrease. So that is nothing but the negative trend of a market, okay, or that particular product. Okay, so that is nothing but trend. Okay, that is nothing but trend. So long period tendency of the data to increase or decrease is referred to as a secular trend. Okay, एक तो ये पॉजिटिव हो सकता है या तो निगेटिव हो सकता है, that is nothing but secular trend. Okay, लार्ज टाइम फ्रेम में एक तो ये पॉजिटिव दिख सकता है, एक तो बढ़ते जा रहा है या तो घटते जा रहा है. Okay, that is nothing but a secular trend. Okay, so it is a long run historical component of the time series which indicates overall growth or a decline of a business over time. ये क्या बताता है आपको? आपकी ग्रोथ हो रही है या बिजनेस में लॉस हो रहा है. ओके, और डिक्लाइनमेंट में है वो बिजनेस और कुछ साल के बाद वो खत्म होने वाला है, उसकी कुछ डिमांड ही रहने नहीं वाली है. सो ये डिटर्मिनेशन करने के लिए आपको ट्रेंड डिटरमाइन करना पड़ेगा. ओके, आपको उस प्रोडक्ट का ट्रेंड डिटरमाइन करना पड़ेगा और वो कब हो जाएगा? आपके पास 10 साल का 15 साल का डेटा रहेगा, तभी आपको ट्रेंड पता चल जाएगा प्रोडक्ट का मार्केट में. ओके, सो you can write the time series analysis. First of all, time series analysis. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask. Okay, time series analysis. Time series refers to the past data. Time series refers to the past data. Time series refers to the past data. Time series refers to the past data arranged in a chronological order. Arranged in a chronological order. Arranged in a chronological order as a dependent variable. As a dependent variable. As a dependent variable, and time as an independent variable. Time as an independent variable. Next point, the time series method. The time series method. The time series method does not study the factors. The time series method does not study the factors that influence the demand. That influence the demand. Okay, in this method, in this method, all the factors that affect the demand are grouped into one factor, and which is that factor? Time is that factor. Okay, in this method, all the factors that affect the demand are grouped into one factor dash, or that is time. You can write that is time, and demand is expressed as a series, series of with respect to time. Demand is expressed as a series of with respect to time. Next point, the time series analysis consists determining the trend underlying the demand and extrapolate the future trend ओके. टाइम सीरीज एनालिसिस क्या करता है? पहले ट्रेंड डिटरमाइन करता है. वो ट्रेंड किस बारे में होता है? डिमांड के बारे में होता है. और उसका फायदा क्या होता है कि फ्यूचर में ट्रेंड क्या रहने वाला है ये पता चल जाता है. ओके, सो टाइम सीरीज एनालिसिस consists determining the trend underlying the demand and extrapolate the future trend. Okay, last point, statistical methods are used to determine the trend. Full stop. Next, you can write down the time series analysis consists of four components. First one is a trend. In bracket, you can write capital T. First one is a trend. In bracket, you can write capital T. Okay. In bracket, you can write capital T. Okay. So the first point in that you can write ट्रेंड कब पता चल जाता है? लार्ज टाइम फ्रेम पर ट्रेंड पता चल जाता है. आपके पास 10 साल का डेटा हो, 15 साल का डेटा हो, 20 साल का डेटा हो, तो वो इतने बड़े टाइम फ्रेम का डाटा आपके पास रहेगा तो आपको ट्रेंड पता चल जाएगा. ओके, ट्रेंड क्या है मार्केट में और लार्ज टाइम फ्रेम पर ये कितना ग्रोथ दे रहा है वो कहां से पता चल जाएगा? लार्ज टाइम फ्रेम का डेटा आपके पास रहेगा तभी पता चल जाएगा. ओके, सो द लॉन्ग पीरियड टेंडेंसी ऑफ द डाटा, the long period tendency of the data to increase or decrease is referred to as a secular trend. Okay, secular trend. Next point, it is the long run historical component. It is the long run historical component of the time series which indicates overall growth or decline of a business over time. Overall growth or decline of a business over time, which indicates overall growth or decline of business over time. Okay, so you can consider this y is a function of f of x. Okay. Okay, and you can draw this diagram, no issue. So x is the deviation, we can say that, okay, from the origin, and y is the demand of the product with respect to, and it is depends upon the deviation. Okay. So this is the positive trend. Okay, positive. And what will be the negative trend? Negative trend will be in this manner. Okay, in this manner. Okay, so that will be the negative trend. Negative. So here on x-axis, we can say that the demand is there. Okay, demand, and on y-axis, we can say time period t. T will be there on the y-axis. Okay, so here also demand, and here time period on x-axis, time period. On y-axis, time period will be there. Okay, getting what is meant by positive, and it is called secular. It is also important. What is meant by secular? It will show whether is company having a growth, doing the growth, or the business is declining. Okay, so that either of what will one of the things will happen. Okay, either of. So either your business is growing or your business is declining. Okay, so one thing only will happen. So that it is called as a secular trend. Okay, so that it is called as a secular trend. Getting? Okay. Okay, so next point is the cyclic fluctuation. What is meant by cyclic fluctuation? Now trend we have understood, okay, but that trend we have achieved over the long time frame. Okay, out of that long time frame, if you segregate that time frame into a small time frame, okay, into a small time frame, that is nothing but for 1 year, for 5 year, or for 7 year time period. So in that case, you will come to know that the trend is positive. Okay, but for the small time frame, or let us say 5 year time frame, we'll see there is a fluctuation or ups and downs for the demand in the market. Okay, there is a ups and downs in the market for that particular product demand in the market. So for some time period, the demand increases, and for the next time or for same interval of time, the demand will goes on decreasing. Okay, and it is happening in the market over the time period. It is happening in the market over the time period, but the overall trend is a positive. Overall the trend is a positive. Okay, but there are some ups and downs for the demand in the market due to the impact of variable factors on the demand of a product, due to variable factors on the demand of a product. So are the oscillating patterns of an increase or decrease around the trend? Cyclic fluctuation account for some of the variance between the trend line and the data points. The magnitude, timing and pattern of a cyclic fluctuation varies so widely, and the awareness of the effect of a cyclic variation should influence the forecasting. ये क्या बोलता है कि ट्रेंड तो पॉजिटिव है, बट the actual demand is fluctuating around this particular trend. Okay, sometimes it is above the trend line, sometimes it is below the trend line. Okay, and that should be accommodated in the forecasting. That should be accommodated while doing the forecasting. Okay, so trend is a long frame data indication. Okay, long time frame per प्रोडक्ट कैसे परफॉर्म कर रहा है, इसका ये दिखाने के लिए ट्रेंड पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव दिखाता है, और उससे कम टाइम फ्रेम में क्या हो रहा है वो साइक्लिक फ्लक्चुएशन दिखाता है. ओके, उससे कम टाइम फ्रेम में क्या हो रहा है वो साइक्लिक फ्लक्चुएशन दिखाता है. गेटिंग एवरीवन? इज देयर एनी डाउट, एनी क्वेश्चन? नाउ फर्दर थिंग इज नथिंग बट सीजनल वेरिएशन. कुछ प्रोडक्ट सीजनल वेरिएशन. अभी ये ट्रेंड, यहाँ पर तीनों बातें हैं. एक तो ट्रेंड है, स्ट्रेट लाइन क्या दिखा रही है, ट्रेंड दिखा रही है, और ये साइक्लिक फ्लक्चुएशन दिखा रहा है. इस साइक्लिक फ्लक्चुएशन में भी कुछ छोटा बड़ा फ्लक्चुएशन दिख रहा है हमें, यहाँ पे ऐसा. ओके, सो ये क्या है, ये सीजनल फ्लक्चुएशन. व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज द सीजनल फ्लक्चुएशन. सो इन समर सीजन the coolers and the AC demand is more. In winter season the heater demand is more. So the or in winter season the AC demand will not be there. Okay, air conditioner demand will not be there in the market. So that is nothing but what, there is a seasonal fluctuation. During the Diwali the motor vehicle demand is more. Okay, during the Dashera the demand for the motor vehicle is more. During the Ramjan some products or we can say that khajur or dry fruit demand is more in the Ramjan season. So fruit demand is more in a Ramjan season. In Ekadashi time period, in the holy seasons, the demand of a particular product will be there in the market. So that will be considered as a seasonal demand or a occasional demand or a festival demand. Okay, and that will be accommodated in a cyclic variation. Okay, so this is the cyclic variation, and in that cyclic variation, this is small variation is nothing but a seasonal variation. This is seasonal variation. Okay, getting everyone? Now the last one is the irregular variation. Sudden change. There is no one predict that it will happen in the market, like COVID like a situation. Okay, suddenly everything stopped, or suddenly demand goes increased for some things, and suddenly the demand for some product drastically goes to the zero. Okay, so this is happening if nothing will be in our hand. So that is nothing but some climatic conditions, some droughts, earthquakes, floods will happen, and the pandemic situation like corona. So in that situation there is a irregular variation will comes in the product demand in the market. So that is nothing but irregular variation. So it is shown by this line. You can see that here the small dotted line, straight line showing the trend. Okay, small dotted line showing the cyclic variation, and here you can see that the seasonal variation, and here one drastic change has happened in the cycle. Okay, so the demand is at this particular point, and suddenly it is goes to this point. So that is nothing but irregular variation. This has happened irregularly, No one predict that thing it will happen or not, but it is happen in the market or for that particular product. Suddenly the demand is increased or decreased, and it is happen due to the natural calamities like flood, drought, earthquakes, or anything that not in a human hand. So that things and variation happen due to such a things will be considered as a irregular variations. Getting everyone? So in this fashion, we can say that last point is this shows the long time frame. Less than that long time frame, we can say that cyclic variations are there. Then this is small seasonal variation in the cyclic variation, we can see that. And this will show the irregular variation. This will show the irregular variation. Okay. So four components. These are the four components of a time series. And if you want to determine the demand on the basis of a time series analysis, so in that case, it will be calculated as y is equal to t multiplied by c multiplied by s multiplied by r, where y is the forecasted value, t is the secular trend, c is the cyclic variation, s is the seasonal variation, and r is the irregular fluctuation. Getting everyone? Okay, so already I have consumed 5 minutes extra from the next lecture. Kindly put up your roll numbers in the chat box, and we will discuss more on this particular point in the next lecture. And the write-up part also I will provide in the next lecture. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask directly to me, or else you can just put up your roll numbers in the chat box and leave this meeting. And immediately join the next lecture. $74, $65, $73, $15, $60, $36, $29, $11, $10. Fastly, just put up your roll numbers in the chat box and leave the meeting immediately. Join the next lecture. 10, 11, 60, 15, 65, 74. I'm going to close this meeting.